guys, Tara here.
And Scott at Next Level Motorsport.
We're here today to talk about one Supra. My Supra that I've owned since 2007. Purchased it brand newly imported into Australia. It was stock white Supra TT Auto. Ended up throwing a single turbo onto the side of it, a GT35 with an eBay manifold, and went down to Power Cruise and met Scott and a couple of other Mark III owners.
Yeah.
And that's when basically slowly modifying the car began.
It's the cycle of modification begins. Started out with a shift kit and a stall converter, which was good enough to get it down the drag strip at an 11.2 at 124 mile an hour, which was pretty good for its day. You know, going back probably 8 years ago or something like that when we did that.
I think there wasn't anyone else around doing sort of times like that in Australia.
No, I think it was, yeah, there were guys going quicker, of course, but you know, with a 400 horsepower Supra, you know, not many people were getting that low into the 11s, or even going further into the 10s. There was a few guys out there doing it, but yeah, it was a pretty impressive time for the minimal mods that it had.
So my goal was to get it into the 10s with the stock ECU and a Pepsi SAFC. Didn't quite go to plan.
No, the intake fuel hose split, which leaned out the motor, caused some damage, and then basically once we upgraded the fuel system, tried to wind some more boost into it, it didn't really make any more power, and back out at Power Cruise another year, and it had a race against a Lancer, I think.
No, it was a Ute, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Some car. I was
Some
racing.
raced it in off-street racing.
Main point is I was winning and I won.
Yep.
Backed off at the end.
Billowed smoke through the whole way out till it exited into pit lane.
Scott was not seen for a little bit there.
Yeah, I had to run on hide. End result of that was we've melted a hole in number 2 piston, I believe it was.
And that is the problem with having a stock ECU. You have no warnings. This is why people go aftermarket ECUs with sensors and everything like that. I didn't have it.
Yeah.
I did not know in the fuel tank a hose had split so long ago. And
The car was still running fine. That was the thing. It ran fine. It idled. It drove. There was no reason to think there was anything wrong with it. In all actual fact, we picked up on the split hose on the dyno when we put the bigger injectors in it and tried to tune it, but the damage to the engine was already done by that point. So yeah, we won't blame the Hoff on that one.
I still do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will always blame him no matter what. I know it wasn't his fault. I know that it was an issue with the car itself. I still blame Hoff.
He'll never live it down.
No.
Anyway, so at that point, we rebuilt the engine, did a fairly basic rebuild on it. Nothing too over the top. We were on a bit of a budget.
I only wanted 500 horsepower ever through this car. It also has that stock auto box.
Yep.
So too much.
Yeah, didn't want to kill things.
Yeah.
So the engine was just ACL bearings, CP pistons, eagle rods, ARP main studs and head studs, and standard main caps. The cylinder head got a recondition, and some Kelford 264, 272 cams and their matching spring set. And then at this point in time as well, we upgraded to a 6-boost manifold, upgraded the dump pipe to a 3.5 inch dump pipe, and then made everything look prettier in the engine bay. Tara wanted purple bits, so we got nice little powder coated purple bits everywhere, and some purple end caps for the fittings, some purple bolts even, you know, just went a little bit over the top. I painted the engine bay while the engine was out.
I sanded the engine bay while the engine was out.
Neither of us recommend doing it.
No.
Get a painter to do it, much easier. And then we took it back to the dyno and got the Hoff to do his magic, and we wound up making about 490 horsepower, I think. Don't quote me on it. We'll try and find the dyno sheet at 20 odd pound. Now we only really wanted 500 out of this. Because we chucked a PS2000 on the car, we chucked a fleet sensor on it as well, and we put ethanol in it and ran it up, and I think we ran it up to 26 pound on ethanol. Any more than that, and the GT35 was sort of not really making any more power. But at that, it made 580 rear wheel horsepower, which was way more than we were expecting to get out of the car originally.
Yes.
And then gearboxes became
I started munching gearboxes
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
I've built a rack at the back of the workshop to store all the destroyed gearboxes.
Yeah, no. At about the fourth one, you call it quits, and you call up MV Automatics and you say, Mike, I need a box that's going to handle this sort of power, and he builds one for you, sends it back to you, and you whack it in the car. At that point in time, prior to that, a gearbox would last literally an hour if you were hard on it. If you cruised it around, babied it around on the street and didn't actually use your right foot, it'd cruise around, but as soon as you tried to put power through it with Mickey Thompson's on the back, it was just turned to the soup. So Mike gave us a good box to go with, and we ended up going 1010 at 141 mile an hour, I think, which was pretty...
I've done a lot of low tens.
Yeah, which is pretty good, being that it's a fairly heavy car. We were only using a 255 16-inch radial on it at that point in time, and it was just doing everything we wanted it to do. It was running low tens, it was doing everything, and then we started getting to the point with the turbo where we were like, it's sounding like the bearings in it are getting a bit sad.
Like, it's an 11-year-old turbo.
Yeah, it had done 40 or 50,000 kilometres.
I flogged the crap out of the car constantly, so
Yeah.
it was definitely worn in.
Yeah, it had a hard life, so we called up Roscoe at TurboTech and said, what can you do for us on this? And
Cheapest sort of possible.
yeah, like we were thinking we'd just chuck a new cartridge in it and go again. He suggested putting a Gen 2 GTX front wheel on the turbo and machining the front cover to suit. And then we said, well, yeah, why not? And we'll go back to the dyno and see what happens. He was thinking maybe we might pick up 20 or 30 horsepower.
In the mid-range.
In the mid-range.
If we were lucky.
Yeah. So we threw it back up on the dyno, got Hoffman on the keyboard again, working his magic.
I think Mike at MV also said 600 horsepower is...
Yeah, it's probably the limit of that box that we had, was probably around that.
Okay.
And then went on the dyno and rolled out with 690 horsepower or something.
It just shot it right up there.
Yeah, so with the new GTX wheel, we were able to run more boost. It was happy to keep making power at 30 pound or 28 pound. I think we called it quits at, because the fuel system was tapped out.
Because remember, it was only meant to be a 500 horsepower car, so we didn't put big enough injectors in it because it was never meant to be up at the 700 horsepower mark.
No, so we at that point went, oh, cool, we'll leave it there. It's safe there.
Got on the phone quickly to Mark.
And said, what can we do with this gearbox? I said, well, you kind of got the best of what I've got to give you at the moment. Just see how it goes.
Try not to use high boost.
Yeah, well, we all know how well that works. So we ran the car like that for probably 18 months. We did another 1010 at 120 mile an hour with a huge lift off, well before the end of the track.
I was reading the sign as I was going
Yeah.
down.
So the fact is that the car would quite easily run into the nines if we wanted to. Well, not right now.
If I also had the whole drop of the handbrake, the foot off the brake, accelerate, all of that.
Yeah, like
while going to my little boost knob, because I didn't have fancy things.
no. And also the 60 foot on that one was a 1.8 60 foot, which the car's been 150 in the 60 foot before. So there's a lot of stuff there that stacks up that it's going to go well into the nines when we sort it out. At the moment, we have broken gearbox. We did kill third gear in it.
I was warned not to really use high boost. I chose to ignore that. I then chose to do a little skid from first to second to third.
Yeah, shifted into third a bit too early. Loaded up the gearbox a lot, and then after that it never was the same again.
No, but it did complete that event with
two gears.
2 gears.
Well, 3.
And
Had overdrive.
Yeah, it was an event where you had to go from drag strip to drag strip to drag strip. So I still had to race and drive, and I came, was it 4th?
Finished 4th at the end of that one. Which is not bad when you've got a car that's broken and you're limping it through the whole event.
Yeah, that was the second run on the first day.
Yeah.
I was stupid.
Yeah.
Made a stupid call.
Broke it early.
Yeah.
So that's all right. Mike is going to help us out, and he's currently developing a better gearbox for us. Billet valve body and new sprags and all this sort of stuff. It's going to be quite a good thing, and we're going to test it.
Yes, he said I can use high boost.
Yeah.
He agrees that I will be the best person to give that box a run for its money.
Yeah. And at that point in time as well, we're also going to be throwing some new injectors
New goodies.
along with some new goodies.
Yeah.
Caltech have come to the party as usual. They always help us out when it comes to new things.
Love the boys down there, and I finally getting something new. A new ECU, a new wideband. Don't know what happened to the last one.
Yeah, the event that we went to, and we're sitting on limiter at the top of second gear for far too long. Eventually, the O2 sensor said no more. And
I had to limit it. Like, I had no other gear. I had to get to the finish line as fast as I could.
Yeah, bashing the limiter was the way forward.
Yeah.
But either way, now we have
New
style wideband controller kit to go with our new Elite 2500 ECU.
Yes, I'm very excited for this. The car has had many ECUs in its lifetime, but this will be its very first brand new ECU. No second hands anymore.
No sloppy seconds on this one.
No.
Brand new freshie.
And the good thing about this ECU, and we're going to try it very soon.
Yeah, we'll be developing a method to make the Haltech control the auto gearbox so that we can finally remove the factory ECU from the car and have a standalone ECU option.
Yes, no more piggybacking.
No more piggybacking.
Those Supra ECUs are getting so old, they're just dying, and it's it's limited amount of time before that ECU honestly fully stops controlling that.
We're pretty confident at this point in time that that ECU that's in the car at the moment has actually failed on the board in the area that's controlling the auto gearbox.
Hoff kindly lent me a stock auto box so I can daily drive this still.
Yeah.
So it's not slept in the gears, and I've been good. I've not boosted it or anything like that, so I'm pretty certain I haven't destroyed another stock auto box.
I'll accept this isn't your fault this time. I was driving it to work actually and came to a stop at a set of lights. As you do, you just, it's in drive, you part has stopped there, and when I went to take off, I noticed it didn't seem to take off right, and then I realised it didn't shift gears at all, and then I realised it was in top gear. So next time I stopped, I manually shifted it back to first and took off, and it took off normally. Shift into second, it shifted into second, put it into drive, and it went into third, and then overdrive. So I think there's something wrong with that factory ECU. Yeah, so now that we're at the point where we are now, we're going to upgrade the ECU. We're going to also upgrade the fuel system, because since Mike's giving us a gearbox to test, we're going to test it. Going to give the motor a refresh, just check bearings, make sure they're okay. It has been 5 years that it's been hammered on these bearings that are in it.
Maintenance is key to keep a running car.
Yeah. When you're pushing, 600-700 horsepower, 1,000 horsepower, anything like that, bearings become consumable over time. And whilst we might pull them out and go, there's nothing wrong with them, we'll probably throw a new set in just so we've got a new set in.
Better be safer than sorry.
Yeah. If it's a part, replace it. Pretty simple. So fuel system, we're going to upgrade. We're going to get Bosch 2000cc injectors. We're also going to get a pair of Bosch BR540 fuel pumps to replace the old Walbros that are in the tank, and it should then allow us to wind it right up, probably 30-35 pound, and see where we end up power wise. The last dyno, we did have a bit of boost in it early, and the dyno graph, instead of following the normal curve like this, it was heading towards 35 pound and it was going up. We're pretty confident, we'll get 750 rear wheel out of it if we run through at 30-35 pound.
I'm happy with that. Like an all-round car that can go to roll racing, that can go to the drags,
do everything,
hold its own at pretty much anything.
Yeah. It's definitely a car that people look at and don't think it's going to be quite as quick as it is, and it catches out a lot of people that way.
I do trick a lot of people.
Yeah, seeing Tara in the driver's seat and they think that it's not going to be that quick, and then blows their doors off by bus lengths, and they go, "Oh, wow, that's really fast." Well, yeah. So that's pretty much it for now. We might do a video on tearing it down and pulling it apart and seeing what condition it's in internally.
Maybe a video on the new little bits of Howtech, i.e. get rid of my little boost dial. Yeah,
we've got to do a whole wiring tidy up on the inside. It does run a factory loom on the outside, so it may be a point that I just turn around and decide to rewire the whole car. I don't know yet.
That will be a discussion, because I like stock looking sort of cars. Yes, it is purple with a turbo on the side of it, but apart from that, it's stock. The interior is stock. I do not want a ginormous dash, or I like it looking clean.
Yeah, we'll discuss that at a later date. Anyway, so there's a whole lot of stuff we've got to do with the Howtech, with getting the auto gearbox to work through it. I think I'll probably just run it through on the factory loom for the time being, and then fix and tidy up that later, redo the loom later if I do that. Make sure that proof of concept it works first. Once we've got it working and running properly, then we'll worry about, making it all look neat and tidy. And
it's also the time, it takes time to make something look good, and all of that. We don't have time to work on our own cars.
Full wiring harness on the car. There'll be 40 or 50 hours in it to do it right and do it the way I want to do it. So that's a full week really, and I don't have that much time in a week. Got 2 kids and they take up time, and got
running
customers and workshop and everything else. It all takes time. This thing sort of gets a bit of second fiddle in terms of when it gets to have time spent on it.
And then we get called out to do silly challenges, like
wrong wheel drive challenge.
Yes,
that'll be
taking
fun.
up time. Yeah,
that'll be fun.
It will be fun, and it'll be great to catch up with all the other workshops again.
Yep.
I think there's something else that we have in the works with potentially Hoffman from Nugget Garage with a vehicle maybe coming.
Yeah, we might end up doing something there. I'm not going to go into any details about it at this point in time.
Yeah, we've got to slow down and focus on the cars that we have at the moment.
Yeah, we've got plenty of projects on the go. My Supra needs a motor built for it.
Needs a fresh paint job. All our cars need paint jobs, so we've got to strip his down, repaint that as well.
Yeah, lots of stuff. So if you like what you see, hit the like button, subscribe, comment, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, tell us what you want to see more of, because at the end of the day, we can film what we can film, and if you want to see something completely different, if you want more details on how we're doing something, tell us. You know, we can try and make it happen. But that's all for now. It's pretty much time to go home, I think.
Yes, pack up.
Pack up and go home.